Good evening and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Geats, episode 41, The Arrival of the Black Shogun. So everybody, Dark Keiwa is finally here, and my main concern is this gonna be rushed? Are we only gonna have Dark Keiwa for maybe 3, 4 episodes at most? Because I have to remind you, like, we only have 9 episodes left, and that's not enough time, at least in my opinion, to really see Dark Keiwa's potential. Is he a legit threat to Ace and to many others now that Sara is gone? And yeah, I mean, Abarekilla, he had a boatload of episodes before he turned good, but I'm getting this feeling that they're gonna treat this as a Sentai thing where we have an evil Power Ranger, an evil Sentai, and he's only gonna be evil for maybe 3, 4 episodes at most, and then they decide to turn him good. And I get this feeling that it's going to be in that formula because, again, we only have 9 episodes left. And there's only a few villains left to defeat. Because you have the evil Daichi, and then, of course, you have the old guard of the DGP, and you have, the Radicals, the Mistress of Games herself, and Kermit the Frog. So there isn't enough enemies left to defeat since we're so close. But I must ask you guys, do you think Dark Keiwa's arrival is too late? Is it gonna get rushed? Do you prefer him showing up around episode 35 and then actually have multiple episodes, not just 4 episodes until they decide to turn him good? But that's just me. In my opinion, I feel that they lost another opportunity in just really milking this new character and to see if he's a potential threat, and that we shouldn't let him turn evil because he is that lethal. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm interested to get your side of the story. Like, do you think Dark Keiwa's arrival at this time is great, or do you prefer him to show up a little bit earlier? Sure, he had a cameo during the movies. Yeah, during the movie with the Revised and Geats crossover, but that was it, you know. Um, so let us begin our tale, shall we? Um, so we start with the Tsumuri Chronicles because she is narrating once again. And we move on to Ace and Neon. And now they heard the news of what happened to Sara. And Neon, she is devastated. And Ace is very concerned about Keiwa, and with good reason, because he tells Neon that his whole entire family is now gone because Sara is the only person that he has for as family. I don't think he has extended family at this point. So he right now is down on his luck. And speaking of which, we cut into Keiwa's apartment, and as you can tell, his apartment is a wreck. And you see him sitting there, and he is cracking his fingers, Jason slash Kaneki way, and he has this evil, angry look upon his face. He has the crazy eyes. And I have to say this. Was it Yuya's idea, or the actor who plays Keiwa, the idea for the finger cracking? Same way as Kaneki always does when he is about to head into battle. Because I noticed that he's been doing that a lot, and he has added the cracking of the fingers in his transformation now. So I wonder, whose idea was it? And yes, we have reference to Tokyo Ghoul now. Yep, that's something to notice. So we move to the alliance scene, as I like to call it, between Azo 2.0 and Kermit the Frog and Juto. And this scene is pretty much to confirm them and us that their plans of capturing Tsumuri and taking a hike off this planet is at motion. We don't see Samas anywhere, so it's only Juto at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much what that scene is about. And then we move to Daichi. He makes a public announcement to the city of Tokyo saying that these Jimotos are attacking the city, and he's talking about his parasites, of how these mini squids can easily affect humans from stage 1 to stage 2. And once a human gets infected by the stage 2 Jimotos, the cure is, there's no cure, there's irreversible. And I know what Daiji is trying to do, but before I say anything else, Ace in his basic form and with Neon tries to help the infected. Ace defeats the infected, destroys the mini squids, turning them back to normal. Unfortunately, one of the civilians gets infected by multiple parasites, meaning stage 2. And unfortunately, Ace cannot do anything. And even Neon said, stop, we have to let him live, because he got infected the same way Sara did, so let him go. Let him go for now. And so they take the save himself and Neon away from the squid. And then we go to Daichi again, back at his evil lab, and he mentions that the Jimotos are a means to an end. Once he achieves his goal and his ideal world, then the Jimotos are no longer of use to him. That's according to what he said. And his plan is to be the people's savior. He's the one with the cure. He is the one who knows how to defeat these monsters. And once he tells the people that, the people will flock to him. And these people will become his worshippers and treat him as a god. And yeah, this whole thing is going to be turned into a cult. The cult of Daichi, apparently. Is it going to happen? It's going to take root, but thanks to the next previews of the next episode, the cult will end before it started. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about. So back to Ace and Neon, and this is where Neon blames herself for Sara's death. She claims that if she was still a Kamen Rider, then she will still be alive. And Ace tells her that it's not her fault, And as of right now, I'm still learning my powers. And my goal has not changed. What I'm trying to do is to create a world where everybody is happy. And Neon approves of that goal. Now, here's what, if Neon was standing in front of me, I would have told her the same thing, with an added cherry on top. There's no way that, regardless if she was still a writer or not, there's no way that you could have done anything, because at the end of the day, Daichi would always target Sara. If not him, Kermit the Frog and Azu 2.0. And what would Neon do? Like, what would Neon have done? Just handcuffed her and just be the next Siamese twins from now on? Is she gonna be the woman in black, just being Sarah's bodyguard? No, it's there's no way. There's nothing Neon could have done, writer or not. There's no way, because at the end of the day, Daichi would have found a way to get to Sara and done what he did. So yeah, don't beat yourself up, Neon. It's not your fault. The blame goes to Daichi. So after that, we get to the waiting lounge, and Win tells Ace of what he knows about Juto and his plans to capture Tsumuri, and Ace asks Tsumuri, what's your choice? What's your decision? Because she is apparently still part of the management of the DGP. And she knows that she admits and accepts that, yes, they implanted these powers in me. They gave me a job as a navigator, but I don't want to be a part of that group anymore. I'd rather stay here with you and do your version of DGP, which makes Ace extremely happy. And let's do it together, he says. So she is officially part of Ace's group. And then we moved back to Keiwa's apartment. Still a mess. And I have to say something. How in the hell is Kermit the Frog able to go inside his apartment without the key? What the hell, Keiwa? Do you give him the key? Did he steal one of the keys underneath the rug or something? Because he's there, and throughout that scene, he is taunting him. He's kicking while he's down, and just says to Keiwa, like, so you failed her, and you're weak, blah blah blah. And Keiwa's trying to like yell at him, scream at him just to get out of my apartment, and to the point where he just pushes him down, and Kermit the Frog is laughing, and Kermit the Frog says, look, you're a Kamen Rider. True Kamen Riders don't give up, and there is still a chance to make your ideal world happen. There is a chance, and you know the way. And this is where, Keiwa turns to look at him with the evil look on his face. Before I move on, however, there's something that Keiwa mentioned about world peace that I want to say here. Apparently, the reason that he was pro world peace was not for his sake alone. It was for Sara's sake. Ever since their parents passed away, he wants to live in the world where world peace is legit. And when he turned into a Kamen Rider and had the opportunity to maybe wish for his ideal world, he was doing it for Sara. But now that she is gone, he has no purpose anymore. There's nothing to live for, according to him. And this is where Kermit the Frog here gave him a little bit of hope here. So we move on to emo, dark Keiwa to, let's see. Yes, Michinaga. Michinaga finds another squid. He destroys it, and turns out to be the same guy Ace let go. And we see the guy in the suit getting dragged into the ground. And again, Michinaga is like another one. Like, he doesn't know what's going on, and like, I wish he could talk to Ace and just go directly to him and say, what's going on with these Jamotos here? Because every time I kill one, it turns back into a human and gets dragged into hell. What's going on here? But he doesn't know what's up with these parasites. And then he gets haunted by Sara's ghost. And then the ghost leaves, and Azu 2.0 takes her place, and she is relishing his pain. She is relishing his despair. And Michinaga, even though he knows he made a mistake, he will still push forward because that's the path of a Kamen Rider. That's the path of a hero. And some things are unavoidable here. And so we move on to Neon. Neon visits her papa in jail because he's not in prison, because if he is in prison, then why is he still in his street clothes? That's something to point out here. But the reason for Neon's visit is not just to check up on him, of course, but she asked Papa Neon that, hey, do you still have the power, the authority to turn me back into a Kamen Rider? And unfortunately, according to him, he no longer has that power. He also mentions to Neon that if only you would have won the tournament, become the goddess of desire, marry Kiru, and our family, our company would have been the top of people's mouths. We would have been the elites, and also, mentions, well, not yet. Well, Neon was about to leave because her father was like, please, you have to get me out of here. You have to take me out of this jail. And Neon was like, she ups and leaves because let's call it like it is. What would Neon do if she wanted to? Whether she doesn't want to or wants to get her father out of jail, like there's no way she can do anything. There's no way. And Neon mentioned as well that, look, if your real daughter, who passed away 11 years ago, didn't die, then none of this would have happened. And Papa Neon just just went down in tears, like, don't say that. I think a part of him does love Neon. It's just, I think he doesn't know how, because it's just the love he had for his first daughter just died along with her. And as you know, Papa Neon wished Neon to life and just used her for his personal gain. And I believe that maybe on the season finale, that maybe Papa Neon will show an ounce of love towards her, maybe. But for right now, Papa Neon is not giving any love towards Neon. He still sees her as his only hope to get out of jail. And so, yeah, it is what it is. But she ends up leaving, not before saying this, if you haven't lost your daughter 11 years ago, then things would have been so different. People lose their happiness forever without the ability to love, don't they? That's food for thought when you think about it. And then we get to this next scene, which ironically, Neon was talking about losing love and happiness. We get to this scene with this clothing store called Loveless. Like, what the hell is that, Yuya? What is this? And apparently Ace is taking Tsumuri shopping for disguises, I guess. And they were doing shopping, but it was interrupted by Jito. Apparently he discovered where Tsumuri and Ace were. I mean, let's face it, Ace is still popular. And there were girls outside of the store, and just like, and Tsumuri's like, look, you being famous is not gonna help me hide. Like you give me away here, and she does make a point. Regardless if she's in disguise or not, as long as she is next to Ace, people will target them, good or bad. So Juto comes in. He doesn't say much because Ace already knows who the hell he is, and Juto was like, like not like turns his head as an indicator, like let's take it outside. We're not gonna fight in the clothing store, even though it would have been cool to see them fight in a clothing store and just throw clothes and fight, and while the Tsumuri is inside the store, and you have these girls looking inward, saying that, oh, Ace-sama is fighting with so and so. That would have been funny, to be honest. I wish Yuya would have just had the fight in the store rather than underneath a bridge, but that's just my opinion. So they go outside, they go underneath the bridge, and Juto says, how long are you gonna keep playing make believe? And Ace says, well, this is my world, this is my rules, so as long as it takes. And ends it with, Juto said, well, I came for her. She is our property. We're taking her back, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And he takes out this stick, and I don't know what the actual name of the stick is, but he takes it out and just goes on the attack. And what I like about this fight, and also the last fight of the episode, is that we hardly get to see any riders in their civilian form. And to see Ace win and Juto, even though he's not a rider yet, to see them fight and fight normal without rider powers, I mean, that's something. And kudos to whoever's idea that decided, hey, let's just have a regular fight and go at it. Kudos to the person, whether it's Yuya or the director or maybe the actors themselves, that they decided, hey, let's just do a regular fight and just do it. Because what I've noticed during the fight is that I think the actors were the ones who were doing the fighting. Last time I checked, like, I don't think they're stunt doubles at all. I think they're just, fighting themselves, and you can see close-ups of the actors. So the actors are doing the fighting, huh? That's good. So you would have thought that Ace would have got the upper hand, but no, Juto is an experienced fighter, and he got him down. But it was not until Win stepped in and just made it a 2-on-1 handicap match. And so Win jumps in, like I said, and they are both fighting against Juto. And regardless of Win being there or not, Juto is an experienced fighter, and he can hold his own. Like, he managed to beat up both of them at the same time. And all the while, poor Tsumuri, she can't do anything but stand there and just watch this mayhem happen. And then all of a sudden, Keiwa surprisingly appears and takes Tsumuri away. And Ace turns around and just say, hey, like, Keiwa? Well, he calls him by his rider name. And Keiwa's like, don't worry about it. You deal with this dude, and I'll take her to safety. Don't worry about it. And they both leave. And then we have a few, maybe a 1 or 2 minute more on the fighting, and then Juto just eased off and just leaves before saying, look, yes, you're a god now. This is your world, but there's always someone more powerful with a more stronger desire to take what you have away from you. And then he ends up walking away. And Win and Ace just stare at each other like, what do you mean by that? What does he mean by that? And then we move to like Keiwa and Tsumuri, and this is a scene where for the first time we see Keiwa using manipulation to get what he wants. He's using his sad situation onto Tsumuri to to do her prayer thing to grant him the power to get his revenge, even though he didn't say it that way. So Keiwa and Tsumuri are quote unquote safe, and he asks Tsumuri, "Why did you join the Riders?" She says her reasons, and then this is where Keiwa just sit down, turns into emo Keiwa, and just go on a tangent. He is crying, he's feeling hopeless. It's like, Tsumuri, like, I've always been the weak one. I failed my sister. How can I move on without her? Can I live in the world where I can still be happy? And this is where Tsumuri, like, feeling sympathy, empathy towards Keiwa, because she saw what happened. It was an accident. Again, it was an accident. It wasn't intentional. But Tsumuri went in, hold his hands, like, yes, you can be happy. You will find a way to be happy without Sara being part of your life. I get it. Like, she was your only family after your parents passed away. But you can't be happy. And this is where just, like, Keiwa just stood up and just holds her hands and say, hey, like, I know you have these powers. You did it before. Grant me the power to become stronger. Grant me the power to protect the world. Air quotes. And this is where Tsumuri is like, I don't think I can. But then she ends up remembering what she did for Ace. So she does the same thing. She does this prayer. And then all the while as she's making this prayer, you see evil Dark Keiwa with his evil grin on his face, and just saying, hey, I fooled ya. Thanks to you, I'll be the most powerful Kamen Rider in this world to take revenge on the people who did me harm, pretty much. So as that was happening, you see Daichi, because we're at his evil garden and he's looking at this tree. And he says that it's only a matter of time until I get the people's memories, their knowledge. And guess what? This tree has people's faces on that tree bark, including Sara's face and the guy with the suit that was turned into a Jamoto earlier. So it looks like the victims who got infected by stage 2 are turning to trees if they end up getting destroyed. So there is a chance that Sara and the other victims are still alive. They're just in tree form. So Daichi is recreating the poison ivy formula. So Yuya, you watched Batman the Animated Series too? I'm curious. Tokyo Ghoul and Batman. Wow. Yep, a lot of references here. So Sara is still alive, but as a tree. So we have this shocking revelation here. So speaking of Michinaga, mentioning that Michinaga again visits the infected, stage 2 infected. He quickly defeats them, and we see the group getting dragged into hell. And here comes Sara's ghost yet again. And then all of a sudden Keiwa yet again appears out of nowhere. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, he knows where to find these people so quickly. What is going on here? I know it's 30 minutes. There's no way, yeah, I know, but it's suspension of disbelief. It's just like, how does Keiwa knows where Tsumuri was, where Michinaga was. Like, what's going on? I know I'm nitpicking, but I'm just mentioning it. And Keiwa steps in, and before they have another fist fight, Keiwa's like, "So you end up destroying another group of innocents." And Michinaga mentions something that truly tells that he is changed. Like, he is the lone buffalo, as you were. He's keeping the peace, and he tells Keiwa, "Look, what I did was an accident, but look what's going on here. Because if I leave these Jamotos be, they will attack people, and there will be casualties. I did what needed to be done. If there's a way to save them, then I would stop. But for right now, like, I honestly don't know what's going on." And he is taking all the blame to himself, because I know Ace won't do it. Keiwa at the time can't do it. Win can't do it. So Michinaga brought it upon himself to, "Look, I'll be this bad guy here. I'll be the one to be destroying Jamotos left and right. I will save some, and if I don't save some, that's fine too, as long as they won't hurt any innocent lives." And he will take responsibility. However, Keiwa took it as, "So you're just justifying of what you did to my sister?" And again, Keiwa, it was an accident. It was an accident. But at this point, he will refuse to listen, and he will go on the prowl. Right now at this point, he just punches him, and we see another human fight, which I appreciate the most. Again, I wish there was more of that. And the actors were fighting. As you can tell, there was no stunt doubles. And we have a brief fight, and looks like Michinaga and Keiwa were like evenly matched, even though Michinaga, I thought he was an experienced fighter, but he managed to hold his own. And then Keiwa takes out his new Shogun driver, and Michinaga was shocked, like, "How in the hell did you get that?" Because according to Ace and Tsumuri, there's no buckles to get. There's nothing. So how in the hell did he get his hands on this new driver? And Keiwa says, "Oh, it was thanks to the goddess of creation." And Michinaga's like, "Huh?" And so he ends up transforming to his Dark Shogun form, which from the outside it looks pretty good. It's cool and everything, and it really matches Dark Keiwa's personality. And he has a regular katana, because usually with swords, like gadgets, especially for the final forms and everything, they need extra stuff. But in this case, his katana is plain and simple, and sometimes that is nice. And so the fight continues. Keiwa shows off his new Shogun form, and Michinaga transforms into his buffalo form. And unfortunately for him, he is getting his ass kicked. And ironically, Michinaga was where Keiwa is now, because remember, when he won the JGP and became the god of desire, he had pretty much the same powers as the Shogun, and he was wiping out Kamen Riders to be, cracking ID cores, and any rider that decides to kick him or shoot him, it gets deflected right back at the rider. Like, look what happened with Ace and Michinaga within the two-man power trip thing. So he was unbeatable, but now he's thinking, "Oh, I wish I had my powers back, because right now Keiwa is kicking my ass." And then Keiwa finally defeats Michinaga. He's on the ground, and he slowly approaches Michinaga, and Michinaga says like, "What happened to the goody goody Keiwa? Like, we're easy at you're different." And Keiwa says, "What are you talking about? I'm still me. I always have been." And he takes his katana and drives it into Michinaga, giving him the final blow, quote unquote, because in the next episode, Michinaga is still alive with his rider powers, so I'm guessing Ace jumps in and saves Michinaga at the nick of time. So yeah, that's kind of took away the suspense, but there's no way Michinaga is gonna get killed off. There's no way, especially after 9 episodes, left. Nope. So yeah, so that's the end of the episode, guys. I don't know what to say. Like, I wish Keiwa would have ended it with, instead of what he said, he would have said instead, like, the old Keiwa is dead thanks to you. The goody goody Keiwa died the moment that you killed my older sister. Then it would have been like, ooh, ouch. That would have been a great ending to this episode, but it didn't happen that way. I don't know why Yuya decided to write that instead of what I said just now, but it would have been a good dark ending to end it that way. But it is what it is. So, like I mentioned before, the Shogun form is pretty good. I think that's his new and only new form. And then eventually we will get Michinaga's new and final form. And sadly, we're not going to get Neon's new form. There's no way. Unfortunately, we all know with women writers, they get the short end of the stick and it sucks. We're only going to get her new form in a movie. Like, shame. Will she become a Kamen Rider in time? God only knows. But regardless, I still feel that it's up to Ace and Neon to really make him see that what he's doing is wrong. Revenge is never the answer. What Michinaga did was an accident. If anything, he needs to take his anger upon Daichi and eventually Kermit the Frog. But for right now, his anger is targeted at Michinaga. Which, again, I keep telling Keiwa that your anger is, again, misplaced. But it is what it is. So yeah, tell me what you guys think about this episode. Also, did you recall? Do you guys watch Tokyo Ghoul? Do you watch now he's doing the cracking before he transforms? It's a tribute to Ken Kaneki and Jason. And again, whosever idea was it, I mean, that's a good added touch, I guess. Let's see. I already mentioned the suit and the henshin. Dark Keiwa has finally arrived, but is it too late? Because considering that we only have 9 episodes left, again, I fear that they're gonna rush this, and Dark Keiwa is only a 3-4 episode only character until they turn him back good. However, I have an interesting food for thought before I end this. Um, what would happen if Keiwa ends up being the final boss? Is it gonna happen? I don't think so, because with Daichi gone, you still have Jito and the Alliance left. And let's say they wipe out the Alliance, and still have Keiwa, even after discovering that Sara can still be saved, but she's still stuck in the tree. But he cannot think straight because he is consumed with his anger and despair. That in Ace, Michinaga, Neon, Win, the surviving riders will have to take down Keiwa for the greater good. Will Yuya make this dark thing happen in the final episode? I don't think so, because Keiwa is beloved, and there's no way that he will kill off Keiwa. I don't think so, but anything can happen in Kamen Rider. Um, Besides that, I mean, Michinaga feels guilty, but at the same time, he's taking responsibility for the things that he's doing. And because right now he's the only one on patrol, and he cannot let these infected attack people. He knows this, and he is taking the path of a you could say anti-hero, but he is a hero nonetheless. And he's trying to keep the peace because there's no riders left, and also there's no cure. I mean, it can't be allowed to continue. And I get what he is his I get what he like. I get Michinaga. But again, he's just still feels bad for what happened to Sara, but Keiwa is like not listening, and he will take revenge on Michinaga now, and then Daichi, and then you wonder what's next. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and please let me know what you guys think about episode 41. Do you like now that finally Dark Keiwa has finally arrived? Do you think it's too late? Do you think they're gonna rush it? Tell me your thoughts about that, and tell me your thoughts about the suit as well. Did you like it or dislike it? And tell me about the episode too. Did you dislike it? Do you like it? Tell me all the neat and grim on the comments below. Please give a like if you like it, and please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!